Well, hey, it's Wes, and today we are filming on a new and ridiculously wide lens. Bonus points to you if you can guess what it is. We're taking a quick look at the new Freewell Real Locking VND CPL Filter Kit. That's a mouthful. So we've looked at lots of Freewell filters in the past, and in the past I have used a lot of their magnetic filters, which are great when it comes to fixed neutral density. I have a lot of them. And we've tried their magnetic variable filters, but some people had a complaint that they kind of fall apart if they're bumped. Things get a little heavy, they're held together with magnets, doesn't necessarily work out great. And so, as a response to that, we have something that's just as fast as magnets, but is it as good? Is it as fun? Let's have a look. Inside the box, you'll get this handy dandy carry box that lets you sort and stack all of your various elements. Now these come in a variety of flavors. You can get multi-packs or individual things. There, ring, cap, other more different cap. So in the past, for a premium look, reliable performance, I've been using this, the Freewell Eiger. I took the matte box off for the comparisons because it's not fair. It's big, it's bulky, it's chunky, which can be great, especially, you know, if you're trying to impress some clients. But let's say we want to do things a little bit lighter. So here we have our base unit, and that is our CPL plus VND. This is the basic 3 to 7 stop. It doesn't go crazy, it doesn't go too far, because if you're familiar with VNDs, if you go too far, your quality goes down. That's pretty much universal. And so you start with this level, and then you can add on to that an ND32, again, just by clicking. Now our ND32 is on top of that, and this changes to an 8 to 10 stop filter. Boom, just like that. The great thing about that is that your fixed ND32, very high quality, very pure colors, whereas when you get up to a 9-10 stop VND, you always get some wicked color shifts. So we're getting our higher density with less of the shifts by having this snap onto the front. You might like that, you might not. And you can also get other attachments such as this snow mist filter. We're gonna compare and contrast between different products. Don't worry, this is not just a product showcase. We're gonna go over everything in detail, just showing you how it works. And again, we've got buttons on the side with tiny little grabbers that allows that to attach to the front here. Easy peasy. To start out though, we start with our ring that allows it to attach to the lens. So this is an 82mm ring. I can stick that on an 82mm lens, just like that. There we go. We'll put our main VND onto that, locked on nice and tight. And here we have thousands of dollars hanging from the clips. Then we'll put our ND32 on there. And sure, let's put our snow mist on there. There we go. Terrifying. Oh, I don't recommend doing this. So you can easily stack those. Obviously, these aren't as thin as the magnetic ones. They're just a tiny bit thicker. And when you want to put this away in your bag, we have a couple different things that we snap onto this. There's a back cap. Snaps on like so. Very nice. And there's a front cap, which is much more robust. Snaps on like so. Looks very nice. And the cool thing about the back cap is you get a gray card built into it. And we used that for our testing. And so when you're using this whole thing, it looks very nice, very rugged on the front. Little NSC label here, what does that mean? Open Freewell gear in Safari. Hub by Freewell. Video guide, warranty, contact us, downloads, blog. Yeah, just pops up a little website that gives you some options on the Freewell. Be nicer if there's a little AirTag hole in here, but can't just stick AirTags everywhere, can you? All right, but how does it work? It's fast, it's simple, it's easy, but is it effective? Let's look at our comparisons here. As you can see, I'm comparing it to the Eiger, which is known for being incredibly color neutral. However, it does not resist washing out very well, especially compared to this. And honestly, I'm quite impressed with how this resists washing out. You do get the purple blob, as you do with pretty much any filter, but overall, our flare resistance is solid compared to the normal. We're at 16 millimeters, f7.1, I believe, so worst case scenario here. And then if we look at the color shift, we'll start with our minimum variable level, which is 3, and we'll also look at 7. Same for the Eiger. And well, we have less shift on the Eiger, but honestly, not a huge amount with this. Let's take a closer look. As you can see, it's not quite as simple as it seems. There's a little ridge on the front here and on the bottom. So when I'm clipping this VND on, I can't just put it anywhere. This ridge has to slip into the grooves around the edge of my VND. You can see some little grooves that don't go the whole way around. So I do have to make sure those are kind of lined up so that it sits flush. If it's not completely flush tight, that means the clips aren't fully engaged and it won't be super strong. Now, what are those ridges for? It keeps my buttons on the sides from overlapping with my VND knurling here. That is on purpose. Now, if we look at our snow mist, we have the same deal here. We have some slightly raised ridges on the ND. Not nearly as high as on the base filter, but we've got to make sure that we fit in there. And by doing that, we can't make our buttons line up with each other. They have to be offset, just like that. Now they're offset, they fit. It all gets to be a little bit wacky, lots of buttons, but still fairly compact, and even at 16 millimeters, we're doing pretty well for avoiding fringing and X pattern. And speaking of X pattern, let's do a little test there. And you'll see, I was expecting this to be way worse than the Eiger, which again, is pretty much the best you can get for X pattern resistance, and there's hardly any difference there. I don't like to do this against a white wall, because there's vignetting in the lens, there's vignetting in the X pattern. I'd rather this be in a slightly more real world scenario, and it looks great. Finally, we're going to take a look at our snow mist filter. This is a 1/4 snow mist. All I have are Tiffin black mist filters, so we're going to compare it to that. And honestly, the results here are quite surprising to me. Normally the Tiffin black mist excels at keeping that black level, but the snow mist has even better black levels, but we have more bloom at the edge where that light is than with the black mist. And if we punch right in on the edges of my face, like with the beard and the hairs, let's have a look. We'll see that maybe we have slightly less detail with the snow mist, but the bloom is very similar. And so in total, the options are, there is an ND4 fixed, an ND32, CPL. Seems a little redundant when you're already using the VND because you can rotate that as a CPL as well. Perhaps the CPL is even stronger in that, I don't know. There's a glow mist, snow mist, black mist. Love to see that. Black mist ND32. I haven't seen that before, so that's pretty interesting. So there you can cut out a stage if you're already going to be cutting things down. And of course, just a UV filter if you're into that sort of thing. How's our pricing look? Well, the massive mega kit, as they say, which comes with everything and then some, is $500 US. Sounds like a lot, but you're getting your entire filter kit there. At launch right now, it's $350. And then there is the smaller, slightly more reasonable kit. I think that's what I have here. We have $250 US. If you want to pick up one of those, it's going to be linked down in the description below. So what do you think about the new locking system? Do you agree that it was a good idea to switch back to this mechanical one that's much stronger, sturdier on the lens, instead of the magnetic ones that they pioneered? A lot of people are doing magnetic ones, but pretty sure they're the ones that did it first really well. They do have a version 2 of the magnetic, supposed to be even stronger. I haven't used those yet myself. This is less likely to fall apart on you. I'm not sure myself. I like something small, and if I'm gonna go big, I like to go real big like with the Eiger, so I haven't fully decided what I think and whether or not this is gonna be in my everyday carry. But until next time. I'm gonna go take some photos.